artists behind the epic melodies, songs, and beats. Celebrating the best new music from around the world. This is the A State of Trance podcast.
Yes, welcome to a new A State of Trance podcast. My name is Ruben de Ronde, and in the studio for the second time actually for a podcast, Laura van Dam.
Yes.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I was just checking back the podcast that we recorded last time. That was the podcast where we went into the history of your upcoming and how you fell in love with dance music and stuff like that. So if you want to check that out, please go to Spotify or to iTunes, wherever, YouTube. And you can check the full story there about the past of Laura van Dam. That's the podcast for this week. Thank you so much. No, I'm kidding.
We're just going to now have the future.
Yeah, now we're going to talk about the future. Because a lot has happened since the last time you were here in the studio.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, a lot of things happened. My touring schedule is like next level.
Yeah.
Doing a lot of shows. I did Creamfields in Hong Kong, which was amazing. And then I flew to Australia. That was all for me for the first time. But actually it was also a long time. I was traveling. I was away from my home like for 1.5 weeks.
Uh-huh.
I was traveling by myself. So that was actually my first time that I was being alone on tour.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so then you saw the, how do you say it? That's the side of the side of touring that people don't see. That you're traveling by yourself, you're all by yourself. You travel all around the world. You went to Asia, then to Australia, and you were away from home for 1.5 weeks. What was it like for you to experience that? By yourself in a hotel room. I know how boring it can be.
Yeah, you know what it is. It's like that the travel is super long, so you like alone in the airplane, and you can do things. You know, you'll be okay, taking your laptop, watching a movie, producing some music, or checking your DJ set. But when you're coming to your hotel room, you're tired of traveling, jet lagged. And you just in a country you don't know anyone actually. So you're checking, okay, who is on the lineup, who I can met up. Like when I'm there, you're in the same hotel.
So who's ready for lunch? Let's see. Okay, let's check the lineup. I don't like that person. That person doesn't eat Italian food, so no. No.
But a lot of times I also sometimes feel lonely. You know, it's like that. Yeah. I'm a very easy person to talk to everyone and to make connection with other people. But at the end, you alone. And there's also the time difference.
Yep.
So when you want to chat with your family, your friends.
They are asleep.
They are asleep, yeah.
Or at work.
But I'm saying this, but I'm super happy what I'm doing.
Of course.
It's insane to travel so much. To the other side of the world. People know my music, singing along while you're DJing. That's the most beautiful thing I ever experienced now, that you're traveling so far and you see people that they know you.
Yeah. So the last time you were here in the studio was about 2 years ago, I think, something like that. From that point on, what was the trigger that you were like, okay, now we can start touring, or now suddenly people know my music? Is there like a point in your career, in your timeline, that you were like, okay, this was the moment that everything started kicking off?
I think that a lot of things. My release schedule. You need to show people what you're doing. Your social media, connecting with other DJs and artists. Having my management, having my booking agent. With all the people on the same level. I think that's very important. And I think when I had my 1001 track list, The Future of Dance, I had my first award. Other artists were playing my music. That's also very important. So actually the last couple, the last
year, I would say, or half a year.
Half a year, yeah.
Because your release schedule, obviously I've done a little bit of research before you came here. If I check like last December, I think it was something like that, things started kicking off with a release on Chesto's label, After Hours, Dawn.
Yes.
And from that moment on, you released Take Me Away on Gina Beats. You did a Blow the Speaker, the cover. Remix Alpha 9 just came out. This Feeling was also released. And of course, Save Me.
Yeah.
So only in a span of like 5 months, you released banger after banger after banger.
Every month.
Every month. So that's the aim that you have, to release a single or a remix every month?
Yeah, we had now this new schedule, what we had in mind with the agency and with management, to release like every month, because there is so much music coming out. And it's also super nice to have new music out, because you can show your people on your social media or somewhere else that you're having new music coming out.
Yeah.
Because there are so many artists, so many DJs, so many producers who want to grow. And it's good to release new stuff, and also checking by other labels as well, to get the community there too.
What has been the most important part in picking your labels to do these releases? Like you would say, like Dawn is on After Hours, then Blow the Speaker is on 24/7 Epic. So how do you decide which tuner is going to be released where?
So actually I released So actually I released the music in the beginning more on the like Armada, Anjuna. It's more like a little bit more like trance. But it's also, shall I maybe stop?
No, continue. I just have a little cough over here, but continue.
Okay. So it's really good to have different labels with a different community group who likes different kind of music as well, and checking who likes my music.
So you do it to tap into different fan bases or different communities.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Introduce, for example, the fans of Tiesto. Hey, I'm Laura van Dam. And then you Anjuna Beats. Hey, hello, Laura van Dam here.
Hello.
Right? Hello. Hello. I'm here with my music. But that must be also very cool that all these labels, these massive labels, are also interested in your music.
Yes, that's true. That's also took me like a long time.
Yeah.
What I was saying, there are so many artists, so many DJs. And I'm still thinking, when I'm checking my Spotify, it's still growing, but it can be more like next level.
I think you're doing a good job. Pretty much already.
Yes, it's already insane.
Yeah, but we're super happy that you were part of A State of Trance this year so much with your sets, of course. The main stage in Rotterdam. How was that experience to play for State of Trance in Ahoy?
That was I didn't expect that incoming. Oh, I'm feeling so sorry for you. Maybe we need to stop.
It's okay. Continue.
Yeah. Okay. A State of Trance was for me insane. Armin van Buuren gave me so many good opportunities to show who I am, what I can play, and that makes me so happy that someone so big believe in me, what I can do. I'm the most happy person behind the decks and in my studio. So it's really cool to perform, for example, then for A State of Trance, and showing my real passion, and I opened the main stage. So my brother bought a ticket because I had so many friends and family who wants to visit me.
Yeah.
And he said, the doors will be open. I think it was at 10. The doors will be open at 10. So I was playing at 10. So I thought, okay, there will be no one there.
Yeah.
That was in my mind. There will be no people.
First record, the dance floor is going to be empty. Yeah.
Yes, that was in my mind. So when I came there, it was already packed from the beginning. There were already people there, and I didn't expect that. So that makes me more excited. So I didn't expect that, but that was insane.
That's the State of Trance experience.
Yeah.
Because I think in general the doors open like half an hour, 45 minutes earlier, to make sure that even the first artist, because the first artist is just as important as the second or the third or the fourth, because you start the party, you set the vibe.
Yeah.
If you would start playing 150 BPM, then the whole night would be ruined. So I think that's that's a little bit of an underestimation of people playing first sets out of experience. That's what I'm saying also, of course.
Yeah.
I guess it was a little bit different when you played A State of Trance in Miami, because then you were playing first as well.
Yes.
And also out of experience, that was probably a different kind of vibe from the start.
Yeah, the doors will be open later.
Yeah.
I think
Halfway your set.
it was like 15 or 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So that was pretty okay. But like the worldwide stage, I also want to say that was a dream for me to perform there. When I started DJing, I had a picture of the worldwide stage above my DJ table.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that was really cool that I got the opportunity to play there. But let's go back to the story.
Yeah.
But the nice thing was the worldwide stage, the entrance is next to it.
True.
So the people coming in, you see some people are like running like crazy to the main stage. But there are also a lot of people came to the worldwide stage.
Yeah.
And my set is on YouTube, so you can listen it back.
Absolutely, 100%. And what I found the hardest is there, because I played the first set the year before you, and my stage didn't open till half an hour in. So you had 1 hour set, half an hour was already gone because the doors were not open. But in the meantime, you know that it's being filmed. So you stand on a massive stage. There's no one there. You're frustrated that no one's coming in, and then you're like, oh, you still have to pretend it's like that you're having a good time.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, check the YouTube sets. They are on there as well. Now that you're touring so much more than you did in the past, how do you balance everything with making music and then setting up plans and doing socials? Because a lot of time goes into traveling nowadays.
Yes. I think it's very important to also have your me time. Like, for example, yesterday I was with my girlfriend. We did a boat trip. So just more relaxed.
Oh, that's awesome.
The weather is not that nice here in the Netherlands, but we make it nice.
Yeah. That's a good thing. On a boat with an umbrella.
Yeah, something like that. And then his sunglasses on.
Yeah. Just pretend it's nice.
Yes.
So your girlfriend's like, I'm not having a good time. Doesn't matter. This is our time. Forced.
No, I think that's very important to relax, to do things with your friends and family. And it's also good to schedule days that you're really working, because it's at the end it's working. You need to plan things.
Yeah.
And for example, when I'm coming back from a tour, the day after I will be doing like just being at home and see how I feel, because you don't know.
No. Did you sleep good enough on the airplane?
Yeah, something.
That depends a lot on that already.
Yeah. So it's sometimes I will be at home. So maybe I'm excited to go in the studio. I go in the studio, or just want to DJing at home. DJing at home.
Yeah.
Or just want to.
Are you good at sitting behind a desk and making music even though you don't feel like it? Or is it that some point that you're like, okay, I'm going to do something else?
Sometimes in that situations, I'm thinking, okay, what the fuck I'm doing here?
Yeah.
So then I'm going into checking some other releases out. What are the people releasing? Or listen to some other radio show on 1001 Tracklist, checking some new stuff out.
Homework.
That's
what it is, I guess. Yeah. And also, I guess, since you started Capture Radio, that's also became one of your, I guess, you were already checking new music, so you might as well take those tunes and make a mix out of it, right?
Yes, that's true.
Combining homework and make it into your own content.
Yes.
Smart.
Which is really going strong on my YouTube channel. And it's really cool to play some new stuff as well. It's always different when you're listening to a music like behind your computer or you just DJing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. And also because when you're DJing, you have to listen to the whole tune.
Yeah.
It happens a lot that, for example, that we pick tunes for A State of Trance. And then in the studio, you're like, okay, skip through it. You're like, oh, that's decent. And then you play it here in the studio, like, holy shit, that's a big tune.
Yeah.
So doing a radio show like that really helps also to find certain tracks. It also works the other way around. Then you were like going through it on the computer, like, hey, it's a nice tune. You play it here, like, That was not so good.
Yeah.
Happens as well, I guess.
Yes. Or live. I had this so the 3-hour set I did in the Brooklyn Mirage.
Yeah.
So I created my set. So I just make a box like 3 hours. So the 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour. So I put all the tracks in. Like for example, for 1 hour I have like 40 tracks, and for hour 2 I have 40 tracks. So it's a big selection because you cannot play 40 tracks in one hour.
No.
So I was playing a track in the second hour, and then I'm thinking, actually that was a really good track for maybe the last hour, but yeah, it's all different. Yeah.
Oh, they're like, oh no, I'm going too fast. I still have to go back a little bit, and then.
Oh, that's also good. A little bit energy back and then going up. But I thought that track was good for the end.
That's the funny thing about playing longer sets, that you have to make like certain selections, and at a certain point you're like, okay, do I have to keep going where I'm going with the step up, or am I going too fast? Or so structuring this, what you did in per hour, you had like, okay, now I have to go to the second hour, I have to switch playlists and then continue on.
Yeah,
that's good planning, to be honest. I'm gonna steal that from you.
Okay. You're welcome.
Yeah. All right. So there's actually a lot of questions that were submitted through social media. So let's dive into those. Etienne van Gerben wants to know, are you in love with a certain music track at the moment? What is your top track at the moment?
Ooh. That's a good question.
Etienne, good question.
Thank you, Etienne. I like to really listen to Ben Boomer.
Oh yeah.
Because there's such a story in it. It's insane produced. So actually a lot of tracks from Ben Boomer I like to listen.
Yeah, me too. Especially Beyond Beliefs is such a good track. So Ben Boomer goes there. Was any specific track that you like, or is it just his whole discography?
I think it's a remix of him. Between Us.
I can't help you here. Sorry, Laura. You have to look it up on your phone. Let's go on with the next question.
The space is between us.
Space Between Us.
Yes.
All right, perfect.
Yeah.
JJ Cool 4357 wants to know, is there any plans for an album?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Another good question.
Yeah, another, because I'm thinking about it. But when I'm doing it, I think it's also nice to do like a small tour. And I think that's not the right moment for now. So maybe next year or the year after.
Okay.
So maybe in 2 years.
So for the time being, you're going to release more singles, and then maybe in the future there's going to be an album.
Yeah.
Elena69 Luca wants to know, what is your dream collaboration and why?
Aww.
Out of everybody in the whole world.
Wink, wink.
No, that's already done. That's already done. Thank you, though.
I really like to collaborate with Joris Voorn.
Oh yes, that's a good one.
Yes.
So that would be a dream collaboration. That's a good one. Why? Why him?
Again, there is such a story in it, and every sound, every synth sounds so warm, and that's what I really like.
Yeah, and I also think that's very cool that Joris is in between everything.
Yeah,
like he plays techno stages, but in my opinion, what he's released this year is all trance. To be honest.
Yes.
But he walks such a fine line. But when he plays a deep house set, then it's fantastic as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I understand why Joris Voorn is a good pick.
And maybe I have another artist.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Because I also like to play like a little bit harder, more the techno vibe-ish. Like Hilo, Oliver Heldens.
Oh, okay.
Cool stuff.
Well, let's hit him up.
Yeah.
Let's give him a call. No.
Hello?
No, his stuff is insane also. And for him, it's the same. He walks such a fine line between everything. And then his Oliver Heldens stuff is becoming more like Hilo also. And I really liked what he's doing. Mike Allen Music wants to know, what advice would you give to new beginner DJs? Greetings from Mexico.
I think the most important thing is just believe in yourself. Don't give up. go there, connect with people in the industry, create new music, send it to other artists, make connections. For me, what I really liked was if you have the opportunity, because he's living in Mexico, but if you have the opportunity to come to EDE, Amsterdam Dance Event, I think that's really good to go because you can make good connections here. You see everyone on the streets in Amsterdam. So that's a vice.
Yeah, and if you go to one of these conventions, what is your approach? Because it's kind of hard to just step to everyone that you're like, oh my god, this artist or this label, or hello in your face. What is it? What would be your approach to do these kind of things?
I think that's up to the what's his name?
I don't know.
Oh no, he's a guy from Mexico.
Oh, it was Mike Allen.
Mike, I think Mike, it's very important to what is your vision. You know, do you want to be a producer? Which kind of music do you produce? Make a selection. Who is in your connection? Like, for example, if you're making like music for Armada, go to the people from Armada, look them up on internet, and check if you see them here in Amsterdam, because you bump into everyone here.
That's true.
And if you see someone, just have a chat and say that you're from Mexico, that you're producing music, maybe DJing, I don't know. Give it, like, check the Instagram, send your music, email.
Give a USB stick with music.
Yes,
and be nice. Don't be an ass.
Nice.
Yeah, I guess that's very important.
Yeah,
a lot of people forget about that. So Tobet 0509 asks, what got you into music? I think the best way to answer that question is just to go to the previous podcast, because we had another very long and nice chat about that. A lot of people were just saying, hey, if, for example, Gabriel is here, Argentina is waiting for you. Tim C345 is saying, when are you coming to Berlin? Oscar wants to know when you're coming to South America. Any plans? South America?
No.
Not yet? Okay. No. Andrea wants to know when you're coming to Brazil. Well, that's South America, so that's kind of hard as well. A simple question here. What tune got you hooked into trance music? That's a question from I'm not Jensen Button. So it's not Jensen Button.
I think when I was listening to classical music, and why I was listening to it, because like only the piano was playing a beautiful tune. So that brought me also into the studio and created more melodies. Actually, I was not really listening to a lot of trance music. That's actually the funny story.
Yeah. It's more classical music and the chord progressions and the melodies. And
yeah. And that's what I brought into my music. And then I see like a lot of people who is listening to trance like my music, because there are some elements in it, because it's like playing a story. So that's actually how my sound.
So classical
going
music,
into trance.
That's a good one. Pris for you wants to know, what are you looking forward to in your career next? So what's the next step? What are you looking forward to the most?
Actually, going a lot of on tour, because I'm really having a good time there. Also can sometimes be lonely, but it's super cool to on tour and
meet all these fans and all these people that listen to your music. And
yeah, and of course, you know, producing music, that's so important, and I also enjoying that. And it's really nice every time when I'm seeing on Spotify there is a new release coming up. That makes me happy.
Yeah. So the next release is your next thing you're looking forward to, I guess.
Yeah,
and your next shows.
shows.
Do you have any like end goals, like big things that you're looking forward to, or like bucket list things? Like, for example, you said earlier that you really want to play the worldwide stage at Ultra. Are there more of these stages that you're like, okay, this is what I really want to do?
EDC Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that should be doable for you. 100%. Yeah. It's a fantastic festival, to be honest.
Yeah.
The how it's just massive. You can't. It's hard to process the feeling that you get when you walk around on EDC. I think there's like 180,000 people walking around in that. Yeah, it's insane. And it's nice, and people are dressed up. It's ravey.
You played there, right?
Yeah, I played there a few times. I'm lucky enough that I had that experience. So, yeah, fingers crossed for next year also. And maybe we'll go there together again. That would be nice.
That would be super cool.
Last question. Last year you released a new version of Blow the Speakers, which was, of course, by The Moon, I think. The Moon?
Yeah.
The Belgian producer duo. Is there more of these kind of covers coming? Because when I got in the demo or when the promo came in, I was like, wait a minute, how do you make a hard house tune a progressive tune? How the hell did you do that? Is there more curveballs like that coming in the future?
Yes, there are.
Yeah?
And you can listen in my at A State of Trance on the worldwide stage.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people, you have to check that out.
But it's funny that people asking that, because that's like a more harder track of me.
Mm-hmm.
The most tracks are more like progressive, melodic techno vibe-ish.
And this is the more harder stuff.
That's the more hardest.
Is there gonna be more of those kind of tunes in the future, or are you just gonna go, I'll do this and I'll do this and I'll do this?
It's nice to do different things, you know, not doing like the whole time the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I really like to go a little bit more harder. That's also what I played also in my set. More deeper, a little bit more like techno vibe-ish.
Okay.
But yeah.
Lots of new stuff coming.
Yes.
Well, thank you for answering all these questions. Looking forward already to see you here again in the studio. Probably at AD. Will be nice to have you here in the studio as well. Thank you so much, Laura, van Dam.
Thank you so much for the invite. I didn't know that.
Well, here you go.
Thanks.
Well, thank you for tuning into this podcast. Next time we're going to have Morph Lender or Alex Morph in the studio here. If you have any questions for him, write them down here in the comment section. And I'll see you next time for a new podcast. Bye-bye. Ciao.
Thank you for tuning in. Check all previous episodes on YouTube or your favorite podcast portal.